Oh, welcome to the Turnbuckle Talk, guys. Chris Best, Carl Careful, OMD, starting the show off. Geez, had a rough morning today. That's all I gotta say. As you guys know, we're all battling I'm battling some health issues within my knee. This morning I was supposed to go see a orthopedic surgeon about it. I left I left my house at 9 a.m. Got to the hospital 9:30 for a 10:30 appointment.
Okay.
I didn't get in till 12:30 this afternoon to see the doctor. Now
Till what time? Sorry.
12:30. So I was there for 3 hours already. They put me in the one waiting room where you go and register and all that, and then the smaller waiting room before you go see the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put me in the bed. They put me in a bed, and after that, it was another friggin' hour until he came in. So 1:30, he comes in to see me, and he pokes and prods at my knee for 5 minutes, and he's like, I think we're at the wrong place. I'm going to send you to a rheumatologist now. They're going to
Like
call you.
arthritis.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to get the doctor, the rheumatologist, to call you to set up an appointment.
Right.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm already at the hospital. Why don't you just send me to the clinic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I just totally wasted away my day doing that, and it's.
Yeah. No, you're right. That would have made sense to send you to the clinic right then and there.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that that's what you expected. Was your appointment was 10:30. You weren't expecting to get in until 1.
Yeah.
So the fact that you got into the bed at 12:30 was a little bit of a bonus, but then you had to lay there for an hour.
Yep. It's, oh my God, it annoyed me, but at least I was smart, because when I know that I've got an appointment at the hospital, I pack for the day. I pack my phone, I pack a book I'm reading, I pack my headphones, I pack water, and I pack something to snack on.
Nice.
That's enough to get me through the day. And if I don't have money for a drink or a snack, or if I don't have a drink or a snack to bring with me, I bring money for the vending machine so that I can go and use those.
Right. Oh. Right. And this seems to be an issue that happens not only just here, but in a lot of different hospitals. And it's especially here in the north, because we're in what's considered northern Ontario, right? So
right.
For a lot of us here in the north, unfortunately, it really seems to be that way, that there is a lack of care professionals.
Yeah.
You could say. And yeah, it sucks.
Well, yeah, I was talking to my sister about it after I got home too.
Yeah.
And she reminded me that one of our health offices actually had to some doctors had left there, leaving 10,000 people without a doctor.
Yep.
And we're in a city of 75,000. So that's a huge number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous. I mean, you take a look at our hospital, there are still 55 empty beds because they can't staff it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're not getting the money up here. I know my family doctor closed up his practice across the street from the hospital to move over to the hospital full time.
Right. Yeah. It's very unfortunate. Hopefully there is better news for some other people as we make our way in to the show. Yeah. And one of those people that I hope that things are going better for when it comes to the medical side of things is the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. He defended his AEW title in a barbed wire steel cage match against Malachi Black at the 2024 AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view event. And he did get injured during that show. It's a very unfortunate injury. He actually took to X to let everyone know that he is injured and that he is going to be out for a while and actually having to have surgery. He ended up fracturing his tibia, and that's a surgery that is going to be required. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Right?
Now, I don't know if either of you guys have seen the spot where I personally believe this happened. For an experienced veteran like Adam Copeland, how you make this mistake, I don't get it.
I'm glad you said like Adam Copeland and not yourself, because
he climbed to the top of the barbed wire steel cage to drop an elbow on Malachi, who was laying on a table.
Right.
However, instead of coming out on his side to drop the elbow, he came straight down, landing on both his feet.
Interesting. Maybe that's what he was supposed to be doing. Maybe it was supposed to be something. He wasn't supposed to hit it. So maybe it was just that way to recover without injury. Unfortunately, it did happen, but maybe that was the way for him to recover, to be able to continue on the matchup without actually elbow dropping and injuring himself. You know what I mean? Because we've done that. We've done that where, we're supposed to go up and we're supposed to give an elbow drop or a frog splash or something, but we end up landing on our feet instead because we know that it's not happening and that we need to continue on with the story, right?
Yeah, but he hit the elbow drop.
Oh.
He hit the elbow drop. He just came straight down instead of kicking his legs out.
Gotcha. I see. So he kind of flopped instead of jumped.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe the dude was tired. I mean, he is like 50 years old.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I mean, the question I have is, at what point in the match did that happen? Like, how far were we into the match?
I'm going to say probably about 75%.
I'm looking for a time, not a percentage.
Right. You ought to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but about 75% through, I would say the match was like, what, 28 minutes, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
At that point, especially in a cage match, especially against a guy like Malachi Black, who can work circles around you if you don't match his pace.
Right.
I can see where Edge would have made that mistake. I mean, imagine being sweaty and trying to climb to the top of that cage, your hands, the sweat on the cage. Maybe you slip off trying to deliver it. Maybe you don't. I do feel Edge's pain, definitely, because of my injury right now. All the best to him in healing. Depending on the type of fracture it is, if it's a tibia injury, he's going to be gone for like a year at least.
Possibly.
I mean,
Possibly. It's possible that it could be a year. There really is no timeline as of yet that has been put into place.
Psycho Sid,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was saying, look at what happened with Psycho Sid, but his was like a clean snap, and you saw the tibia dangling,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely did. Edge did go on to X, and he says, "I guess the house always wins because I gained 2 new friends." As he shows his crutches in a video, he says, "I don't really like those buddies that just annoy you, but they're always there." Anyway,
yeah.
I've been feeling really good lately. Been having so much fun in the ring, and I got cocky, I guess, is what it really boils down to. And I'm probably a narcissist and an egomaniac, and I'll unpack that one day. My brain forgets what my body always seems to remember a little too late is that I am 50 and I need to make better choices. So my body pulled the emergency brake on me the other night and I ended up fracturing my tibia, which is going to require surgery. Don't know the time frame on that yet. Ruby's birthday is Friday, so I really want to enjoy that.
It's that whole moniker now that I'm coming getting off of that tweet. Work safer, not harder.
Yep.
Right. And for him to still have the, you know, like the family aspect to it, where, you know, he's like, Ruby's birthday is Friday and I want to enjoy that, right? Like, okay, maybe this was a blessing in disguise. It's going to allow me this time to enjoy the birthday of my child.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we do know that it was surgery, or that it's going to be surgery. And we do know that this was, you know, for the TNT championship. So now that kind of hangs in the balance. And who knows what we're going to get from Tony Khan on the Fallout edition of AEW Dynamite for Double or Nothing this week. And I'm pretty sure that that's where he's going to do it. He's going to do something for Double or Nothing. But there's already one name that seems to kind of be gunning for that TNT championship already. A former TNT champion, Sammy Guevara. What do you guys think of that?
I'm already okay with it. I've liked Sammy.
Okay.
I like Sammy both on his YouTube channel and in the ring.
Right.
I do feel he's deserving of it. Hello, Parrish. No, I do feel that he's deserving of it. I feel like within the last year or so, they haven't really done much with him, but so it would be nice to see him back in that limelight again.
Right. And now we do know that Sammy Guevara was on a, like, quote unquote suspension due to his role in the match against Jeff Hardy on February the 14th. The suspension was lifted earlier this month, but he actually has yet to return to AEW television. With the fractured tibia on Adam Copeland following what people are calling a dangerous spot that happened. I really don't think that, you know, it's Adam. He knows what he's doing, right? Sammy actually took to Twitter, uploaded a photo of himself with the TNT championship, seemingly hinting towards wanting that championship back. There was no caption, no anything else at all, just a picture of him with the TNT championship. Parrish, let's get to that comment first. Edge says, or Adam Copeland, my apologies, says he's already said he shouldn't have done that spot. Yes, he did come out and say that he should not have. And when it comes to the TNT championship, Sammy Guevara's name is in there. Parrish is saying Pac is his answer, the bastard Pac. I want to, from you guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts now on who could be in the runnings for this TNT championship, and how do you think that it's going to be given or fought for?
I have a feeling it's going to be a tournament, but it is going to come down to likely a fatal four-way match.
Okay.
I think not an answer that I'm big on, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I'm not even a huge fan of Okada and the whole elite, but I think you go to Jack Perry, give him his first taste of AEW gold outside of having had the tag titles. He hasn't had a belt in a long time.
Right.
And you give the elite that power, the gold, the stroke. I know we see it time and again everywhere, but it is a storyline that consistently seems to work.
True. Chris?
I kind of like the idea of Jack Perry going after the title, because even though I did harbor some hatred to him over the whole Punk thing. I've gone past it. I now like him as a wrestler again. I love what he's doing as a heel. He's the only one in the Elite besides Okada that I do like, because the Young Bucks can go, themselves.
Right.
So yeah, Jack Perry, Pac, as Parrish had pointed out in the comics, is a good idea. Sammy Guevara is not bad either. Another thing that I thought about is, yes, I know the Owen Hart tournament is geared to whoever wins goes after the World Heavyweight. Why not make it for the TNT? And then you can maybe take that TNT title, similar to what you do with the X Division title, or did with the X Division title in TNA, where you have the option to keep that title or forfeit it so that you get the shot at the World Heavyweight title.
Okay.
Interesting way to do it. Yeah. I like that as well. I could be down with that. I think in light of the situation of what's happened, we had Adam Copeland, the Rated R superstar, who was holding that championship, who is a absolute freaking legend in this business.
Hey, there's a reason why he's wearing that Hall of Fame ring.
Right? Exactly. Let's bring this back full circle. Now, OMD, you talked about a fatal four-way at some point after a tournament, but I say that regardless of any story or anything that is happening with any of these characters right now, we once again have a match with the four pillars. We take MJF, Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara, put them into a fatal four-way matchup for the TNT Championship. And let's bring it back to basics, bring it back to the beginnings, and allow this title to continue with the prestige that Adam Copeland had kind of put onto it. And I mean, in some way as well, I have to credit Christian for that as well when it comes to his run with it in AEW.
I mean, Christian did do some phenomenal stuff with that title.
He did. 100%. So to keep that prestige on there, why not let that prestige be transferred to one of the four pillars? That's my thoughts on it anyways. If you guys have any thoughts on it, make sure that you're hitting us up on our socials. You can follow the link tree, linktr.ee/Karl Karufel. That's KarlKarufel. And the socials for everything Turnbuckle Studios and Turnbuckle Talk are right there for you.
Did they do the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing?
Not that I saw. I believe that is actually Wednesday.
Well, why not put the TNT title on the line in that?
Sure, right? Why not?
I mean, you could also do it if they were going to do the casino ladder match.
That works too. So there's actually a list of options that Tony can look over. Now that I'm thinking about it coming out of that match.
Yep.
Let me see. I'm just taking a quick look, and I don't see anything about the Casino Battle Royal. So you think the Casino Battle Royal would be a good idea?
It's not. It's an option. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's an option.
Gotcha. Because I don't think that it's a good idea personally. I would rather not see that. We've seen that way too many times when it comes to championships that have needed to be vacated. I mean, literally, we just saw that a few weeks ago on WWE programming.
Yes.
I don't know that I really wouldn't want to or need to see that again.
Right.
That's just me personally.
No, I'm with you. I know. And then we've got, of course, a ladder match for a new women's title coming up in the WWE. So again, do we need that ladder match for this title? So I get where you're coming from, but again, there's a plethora of ways to do it.
Yeah, and at the same time, these are two different promotions, so
yeah,
two very different promotions right now.
Yes.
Given what happened like over the weekend with the two PLEs, I came away this weekend thinking quality over quantity matters.
Yep. Quality over quantity matters. It definitely does. Joe, good to see you, my friend.
Froze up again. Yeah.
Yep. You continue to do so, unfortunately.
Good to see you, Joe. How you doing, brother?
We have talked a little bit of AEW. Let's stay on the AEW train right now, as we had Gabriel coming in earlier talking about Arn Anderson announcing departure from AEW. Russell is apparently saying that Jake Hager is done with AEW. Arn Anderson, right, as Gabriel had said. But I have another name as well, and that being Mark Henry, who actually confirmed his decision to not re-sign with AEW. Just sent you a Dr. Pepper picture. Okay, cool. I don't know how you sent it to me, but good. Blew the rear out of my pants at work, so I'm spending my break watching you guys and buying new pants. Oh, geez.
I hate it when that happens, Joe.
There's a lot of injuries and mishaps that are going on apparently throughout this week. What do you guys think right now of all of these names that are apparently or have actually confirmed, which Mark Henry confirmed on Busted Open 24/7 on X? What do you guys think? Like, this is weird.
I'm gonna say I'm not really surprised. Mark Henry really, yes, he was doing good things behind the scenes. I liked when they were using him as the setup guy for the main event on Rampage, but that has fallen by the wayside.
Right.
So, the fact that he said he wants to go, if he cannot give 100% to what he is doing there, then it made more sense for him to walk away. He's going to focus on his outside projects, not worry about wrestling right now. As for Jake Hager, poor booking and really not being utilized. So smart on him. I'd like to see him maybe return to NXT and mentor and train some of those guys. Put him with the no quarter catch crew.
Right. Okay.
I kind of like that, OMD. Wow.
Yeah. Damn, dude, you came out with something good.
I like what
Where's my calendar? Let's mark that down.
I like what they're doing with the no quarter catch club already in NXT, and adding a guy like Jake Hager who kind of fits their mold, what they're doing as far as their in-ring style. Not a bad choice. Maybe, although the thing is, I was going to say maybe he comes in as a manager, but he would tower over all those guys.
Yes, he would. You could also team him up with Gable and the Creeds.
Yeah, he could.
He could be the muscle at the same time. But as far as Mark Henry goes, I know that OMD, you had said that he said he's going to be done with wrestling for the time being. Money talks, man.
Right.
If Triple H gives him the right amount of money, Mark is back with the WWE just like that, and he's probably working in NXT, helping big
probably
guys.
Big guys, NXT. They're making their way up.
Thing.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
I think what you were saying there is Mark Henry NXT recruitment, possibly, kind of like Jeff is saying here. Jeff, good to see you, friend. Thank you so much for coming in. Maybe recruitment or helping out the big guys, right? There's so many
big guys for
here
sure
right now. Yeah, big guys for sure. So many comments. Let's just get through these really, really quick for everyone. Jeff is asking, can Jake come back to the WWE or TNA? I think yes, he definitely could. And I think now would be a great time for Jake Hager to come back to the WWE. Can we bring in Arn Anderson with Cody Rhodes? Cody doesn't need it, so therefore no reason for Arn to be there with Cody. Could Arn come in and maybe mentor someone else? I think would be an absolute perfect idea. Who that is, I don't know. NXT do need the power, and that's a good idea. OMD. Jeff is saying I'd hire Mark Henry as a producer and writer. Yes, he does have good ideas for sure. Chris Parrish is saying Swagger as Gable's heater. Definitely, I think that would be perfect. Why not have Jack Swagger come in, take Otis and Maxine and Tozawa, and Gable get somebody, get a couple other people, and then we start a feud that way. I think would be an absolute fantastic idea. That's a good idea. Holy shit, OMD. Yeah. Gable or Jake as Gable's bodyguard. Okay, that I could see as well. Chris Parrish is saying Mark Henry can manage Lashley's group. That could...
that is something Parrish and I discussed off screen, and I just couldn't remember when we had done that because I thought Mark was still involved with AEW at that point.
Arn can bring his son Brock Anderson for NXT. I think that would be a fantastic idea as well. And I was thinking bring back Tucker with Otis, Carl. I will definitely disagree with that, Jeff. Tucker, good. Otis, good as well. We talked about this last night on the Raw Patrol, where I actually came up with a new idea for Otis, where we are going to now start calling him Huxley Otis, give him a new lease on life per se, and allow him to become maybe more of an intellectual type of character as opposed to this big guy that's kind of slow, is how the right. we have a larger Eugene on our hands, so to speak.
Right. Now, a couple of things. I know you touched on these already, Carl. We know that Cody doesn't need Arn, but right. Cody himself has said, when you look at Logan Paul's entourage for the contract signing for the Saudi show, it might have been good to have somebody there, somebody like an Arn Anderson.
Okay, so good point.
I could see Cody bringing him back.
Fair point.
As for Brock Anderson, I'd love to see him come to NXT again, get the Lexis King type of treatment.
Right.
But Brock and CW Anderson have just won the tag team titles on an independent show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of the company, but yes, it is Brock and CW, the Andersons.
Nice. Former guest of Turnbuckle Talk, CW Anderson.
What a conversation that must have been.
Oh, it was. It was a fantastic conversation.
Bringing in Arn Anderson to the WWE. If you do, I don't want to see him on the screen. I feel like he would be beneficial still because he still has his pulse on the business and has his pulse on what's going on in wrestling.
Right.
I feel like he would be great as a producer still.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I fully agree with that. Agree with that.
I mean, when he was working as a producer in the WWE, he was doing great stuff there. So just imagine how much more greater stuff he could be doing with Hunter understanding how Arn's mind works,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
We do have a
somebody
couple.
else,
Oh, yeah,
we
there
have
you go.
Kenneth Paul saying Otis in the Abyss gimmick. I could see a similar gimmick, definitely not the Abyss.
Okay.
Just because the Abyss character is synonymous with Christopher Park, Joseph Park, and the way he established and built that. I could see something similar, but not the Abyss gimmick.
Right. Not the full
Yeah,
Abyss gimmick. Yes. Which I don't think that I would want anyways, because Joseph Park is the only one that can really do that in my eyes.
right.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
like telling somebody else, "Hey, we just let go of Mick Foley. You're Mankind now."
Yeah.
Right? That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Did
No
we not see
sense at
that
all.
with a Razor Ramon and Diesel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. At least one of them went on to go become a Hall of Famer.
True.
Yep.
True. Russell is saying, "Oh, Carl, I was going to ask, did you love what Sonya Deville is doing with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark?" Yeah, and they keep continuing to drop just these little hints about all of this happening, even as it was evident on Monday Night Raw. Just these little hints keep on coming in, and we're not talking about Dreadmere when we're talking about these little hints. It is glorious. Everybody needs to make sure that, yes, you're watching and understanding what's happening in the foreground of the show, but take a look and see what's happening in the background sometimes as well, because that could tell even more stories than what's being given to you in front of your face.
Yeah, you just mentioned Dreadmere and you mentioned background stuff, and I got harkened back to Nikki Cross walking around like she was a zombie in the back. Now I'm wondering if that's associated with the Wyatt Six stuff.
Right.
It's
And apparently,
possible.
speaking of that, apparently 2K24 got hacked today
Oh,
with a QR code.
really?
Oh, I might have to launch into the game to see if I can find it.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting. Russell saying at OMD, people love Raw last night. We had story to the start, from the start to the end. Yes, and they didn't forget the Braun feud with JD, which is good.
Yeah.
They really did. Monday Night Raw has been on point as of late, and that's why a little while ago we had decided to kind of start doing this Raw patrol that we have got every Monday. So if you guys
I'd
haven't
like to-
subscribed to us over on YouTube yet, please make sure that you do. That way you'll be notified every time that we are going live, and you can come and spend some time with us on Mondays as well.
I'd like to go back to this comment here, if I may,
of course.
where it says, "I agree, Chris, but people miss managers that we grew up on." Indeed, we do. But when it comes to a guy like Arn Anderson, who retired because of a broken neck, I don't need to see him out there, because the one thing when you're training to become a manager, you still have to take bumps. Arn is just not in a place where he can take bumps.
No.
Right. Not at this point.
But that's
Not
why
at this
we are
And-
suggesting a guy like maybe a Jake Hager.
And I understand that, yes, they have Paul Ellering out there, but Paul Ellering never took bumps. So
No.
That's true.
No, he didn't.
That
And
is
I mean,
true.
even to this day, nobody took a bump like Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
no, but but in Heenan's thing, Heenan was a pro wrestler beforehand too. A lot of
Yes,
people
he
don't
was.
seem to forget that.
That's very true. Very true that he was. There was a comment that was up here a little while ago that I want to get to, that I didn't even know until I had to do some quick research on it. Russell is saying, Carl and guys, R.I.P., not RIP, but R.I.P. to Tony Storm's singer, Susie Monk Johnson, the singer of Tony Storm's original AEW theme, has passed away. So from all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios, we sincerely give our heartfelt condolences to the family of Susie Monk Johnson, or also as she was known as Susie Mojo. Yeah, it's sad. It definitely is. And we always talk about those that pass away, that have been professional wrestlers or huge in the eyes of everyone that is watching them. But we sometimes forget about these people, the ones that make these theme songs memorable for us.
Right.
Tony Storm's theme, Watch What's Next, is the theme song that she had done. And yeah, it's sad, and we want to make sure that even for those, they've left us some lasting memories, and we want to make sure that they are acknowledged just as we would acknowledge any of our fallen brothers and sisters in the ring.
Yes. And as we are discussing these people and names leaving AEW, there's been another slew of backstage releases and front office releases within the WWE.
Yes, there has been. So go into more info about it for us.
Notable departures included Kristen Prouty and Tavia Hartley. Prouty had been with WWE since 2000 and served as Senior VP of Entertainment Relations. She was instrumental in securing the Logan Paul deal. Hartley, who was hired in 21, was the talent operations and appearances manager. John Pollock of Post Wrestling and Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reported that WWE also let go of Beth Fisher, their head of corporate social responsibility, since 2011, who she worked directly under Vince McMahon. PW Insider reported about 10 longstanding employees from various divisions were let go, including in travel and marketing departments. These releases followed the departure of Steve Rubin, Senior Director of TV Event Relations since 98, and Michael Levin, VP of International Events and GM of Emerging Markets since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got people from over 20 years of dedication and loyalty being let go. Now, I'm wondering if this is streamlining, because we did not see any names or hear of any names from UFC being let go.
They never really released names from the corporate side of UFC being let go anyways.
But we also, and I posed this question to Carl a little bit earlier this evening, this has to do, we believe, with the streamlining in the front office, but does this also have to do with maybe the aligning of both companies putting on a pay-per-view or PLE in the same city over the same weekend?
No. This is more probably because of the merger. They said that there was going to be cutbacks over the years coming up.
Right.
Some of these people, maybe they just let them go because they just weren't or didn't fit into their future plans with the WWE. So maybe they want to go a different route and they're going to take on somebody else for that position. It's a number of different things, really. But I do think it is still the merger in this case that really led to these cutbacks.
Okay.
And let's face it, too, they had to fork out a lot of money because right now, as we speak, they are in the middle of moving corporate offices in Stamford, too. So that also could play into into it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true. Yeah, I had never thought about that either. I think it's just very interesting that we continue to see, especially with it all being a new company, that we don't see any names from UFC side of things, but it all seems to focus more on the WWE side of things. And I don't know if that's why. I don't know why. Maybe they're just, because it hasn't been something that they've done in the past, if they're just continuing with that that way of doing things, or if there's maybe something else behind it, or if they're haven't been any
Right.
releases from
You also-
UFC.
I mean, you can also pose the question, is it that they're being released from WWE but being hired on under TKO as a TKO or Endeavor employee as opposed to...
I think if they were to be doing, if that was what they were doing, they would probably just create a new name for that position and just put out some details about them moving to this new position as opposed to being laid off or let go.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked about the WWE names being released. How about some other names from the WWE years ago that will be getting a biography legends documentary, and I'm very excited for this. The Steiner brothers are to be featured in a biography WWE legends on A&E. Yes, Rick and Scott Steiner. I have actually worked shows with Rick Steiner, and it was an absolute pleasure to be in the same locker room as him. So the Steiner brothers, they were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame back in 2022. Both wrestlers had amazing careers and runs in WCW, WWE, and TNA. Scott Steiner became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion as well before the company shut down. Great accolades from both of them. And I'm interested to see this one because I was always a fan of the Steiner brothers.
Right.
Yes.
So
I was
good
as well,
for
and
them.
yes. I was a fan of them as well. I loved when Scott turned.
Mhm.
And the build to that, it was immaculate. The storytelling and the character transition that he went through. And that's something he still lives to this day when he makes his returns in the ring. And even at times he's done it at his restaurant that he manages.
Right. Oh, yes.
So, and it's one of those reasons why I want to go to Atlanta just to go and eat at Steiner's restaurant.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable.
I am completely excited about this. We talk about like these biographies that we've seen before. Like when they did Stone Cold, we knew the majority of the stories he was going to tell.
Right.
I like seeing ones where we don't know the stories behind things. And there's a lot of stories with the Steiners that we don't know. There's a part of me that wants Rick Steiner to talk about the Judy Bagwell stuff.
I don't think we've ever really heard anything about that.
Because
there haven't been documentaries on the Steiner brothers. You know what I mean? There've been fan-made ones for sure, but nothing, television level.
No, and another one of those that biographies that I'm very, very excited about because I've heard snippets of stories from this gentleman, and that's one Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I want to hear. Okay, so when it comes to WrestleMania 3, his famous match with the Macho Man Randy Savage, I've only heard through word of mouth what his side of the story is. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth now when he goes to talk about that match.
Right.
Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
He should. I mean, a huge matchup. Come on.
You can't do a biography on Ricky Steamboat and not talk about that match.
No, that is perhaps the greatest technical masterpiece in the history of this industry.
Exactly. And another technical masterpiece that I want to see Steamboat talk about, and it did lead to his retirement, unfortunately, but his feud with one stunning Steve Austin in '94. One of my favorite WCW feuds of all time. I want to hear him talk about that as well.
Right.
Hopefully he does. Hopefully they allow him to do so and give him the time to do so as well. Speaking of time, the WWE really doesn't want to give this person any time to, heal up as quickly as they should. So WWE wanted Julia actually to undergo the surgery on her wrist. She did suffer a fractured wrist, and she actually went under surgery. What's the date on that? It's 28th. So today she went under surgery, which to my understanding was something that was not really wanted in the beginning, but the WWE seemingly almost kind of pushed her into this. She was still really hopeful that she could work the July Marigold match against Sari. She's not, or she's been very hands-on with Marigold, instructing the younger wrestlers and building the company up as she said that she would do. Despite that fact, she's probably likely to leave Japan soon to begin working for the WWE, but she was really hopeful that she'd be able to do this. And the WWE has almost seemingly pushed her into getting the surgery, almost maybe knowing that if she has this surgery, then she can't have this match against Sari, and essentially leaving it open for her to come to the WWE and come to America sooner rather than later.
Well, WWE, from what I read, even before hearing about her going for the surgery, were still hopeful that she was going to make her debut at NXT Heatwave in Toronto on July 7th.
Okay.
Against Roxanne Perez, even with the wrist injury. So I think that's probably played into the reason why they pushed her to get this surgery, hoping that she can be back and at least have 80% in her wrist if we're lucky.
Right.
Now, see, that just kind of sounds like it. What OMD said kind of sounds like it contradicts what I said earlier about working safer, not harder.
Right. Yeah.
I do think that she should have had the surgery as well, because I mean, if it's going to speed up her recovery, if it's going to give her a better wrist after the match or after she recovers.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you're wrestling with a broken wrist. There is a chance that you're going to hurt even more than just that broken wrist in that match.
Yeah.
If you were to continue. I mean, the hand here, there's a ton of tendons in here that you could tear and it'll just fuck your hand up even more. Pardon my French. I know we don't swear on this show, but
do we need another Cowboy Bob Orton situation where she's wrestling with a cast for Lord knows how long?
Right.
Well, Bob Orton had that cast for like 20 years. So Owen also did that gimmick too, by the way.
Yes, he did.
It'd be interesting to see what happens. Definitely.
Yes.
And if this July date for her to come over to NXT, if that is even going to still stick.
Yeah, because that's the other thing I'm thinking about what today's date is. And that's 6 weeks away. And that's, again, as I said on previous injuries, that's not even including rehabbing the wrist afterwards, because you're still maybe looking at another month or two after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if Heat Wave's going to be in the cards.
I don't think so. I really don't. Maybe an appearance, but I don't think that there's going to be any physicality at Heat Wave. That's just my opinion, though.
Right.
If you guys have never been to anything having to do with Major League Wrestling, MLW, maybe now's the time for you to do so. And go and check out MLWshop.com. They're not paying us for this, but this is actually some pretty interesting and big news available exclusively at MLWshop.com. MLW and CMLL promotion out of Mexico have a merchandise collaboration that is going on. And I'm looking at a picture right now of some of the shirts that are there with the CMLL logo, Arena Mexico, another really nice Arena Mexico one, Aztec Lucha shirt there as well. And I think that it's great that MLW is working with, preeminent lucha libre organization
Mhm.
in the biggest one in the world for sure is CMLL, and for them to come together in this is beautiful. This is a perfect way for CMLL to get more of their merchandise available to North America or to US or Canadian citizens easier, because a lot of their stuff comes through Mexico. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if we can order from MLW Shop, it's not going to cost us as much in shipping and all of the other rigmarole that there is.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, growing up here, we used to catch CMLL on our TV on our Teletino channel.
Yep, we did. TLN.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
wish that they would still air it, but it is what it is.
I'm sure that you can find it on the televisions if you have a cable subscription service. I think that there are some channels that still show some lucha libre, maybe not
Mhm.
necessarily CMLL, but they
Well,
still do
even
show
if
some.
even if they showed AAA, I'd be happy with that too. So,
Oh, yeah.
but no, this is actually I think this is exciting. This is a great opportunity for MLW. This is MLW also showcasing that, hey, we're not just one promotion, we're a collection of different promotions. We're partnered with these guys because they've borrowed guys from other promotions, they've lent their guys to other promotions. It's
Yeah.
well documented that they've done that.
It is beautiful to see, and so thankful that the two of them are able to come together and give us some show-stopping merchandise, just as we bring you our Showstoppers segment.
On his feet. Oh my God in heaven!
Our Showstoppers segment this week, I pose the question: is AEW too far gone? And I ask that question because of what you see on your screen right now. If you are watching this on YouTube or Twitch, if you are listening to us audibly, a photo of Darby Allin with a flame thrower that was used on programming for AEW. I want your guys' take on this. My take on this, real quick: why it's not needed. The shock factor went out the window in the 90s with the Attitude Era and the early 2000s when ECW was done. This is not needed anymore.
I mean, the last time I saw a flamethrower segment on Raw or in wrestling in general, I think was the time Triple H dressed up as Goldust to fight Kane, and he hit Kane with the flamethrower. But yeah, that Darby Allin coming out with a flamethrower, and that's kind of passe. It is.
Was anybody lit on fire during that matchup that you remember from years ago?
No, because all they had was Kane take a back bump, grab his face, and China went to help him out, to take him to the back.
This was a legitimate, full-fledged pack flame thrower. This wasn't just throwing a little fireball at somebody, which, yeah, we've seen that every once in a while, especially you get some of the prominent Japanese wrestlers who, if they don't have a mist, they may have a fireball that they can throw. This was a damn flame thrower that was used to light someone on fire. I am a fan of AEW, but I was not a fan of that.
No, this has gotten too far out of hand with AEW because every week it's something, and I've said it before on this show, they are going to lose somebody live on television or live on pay-per-view, similar to the way we lost Owen Hart, just far more recklessly.
Al Snow said the same thing.
I mean, we've seen, the moment of MJF knocking Jericho off the top of the blood and guts cage into the foam padding
Right.
that was set to look like an entrance ramp.
Right.
We've seen a guy pass out on the top of that. We've seen, we've seen stupid gimmick matches. They were supposed to be an alternative in the wrestling industry,
Mhm.
but they've gone to Howard Stern. They're the Howard Stern of wrestling.
And even Howard Stern nowadays is much more mature than what we're getting with AEW.
And the big thing, and I've said this before, the big thing that really separated them early on was they weren't running the same guys every week. Back when Cody was there, you'd get Cody one week, the Young Bucks the next, Kenny Omega the next. So you're spreading them out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're pushing all of the same people in. You've got this over-bloated roster that you're not doing anything with, and these guys have to do stuff of shock value. And you're talking about one of your pillars, one of the guys that you are centering this company around. How much more stupid can you get? He needs a booking committee. He needs proper leadership in there. Tony Khan cannot run this. You can be the money all you want.
Was there not two pillars that were involved in this segment?
I'm not sure. I did not see the segment last week.
To my understanding, it was Darby Allin and Jack Perry. Jack Perry was the one who was lit on fire. Did you see anything about it, Chris?
I did this afternoon while I was in the waiting room, and like I said, I like Jack Perry. I like it when he's a wrestler. I like it when he wrestles. I don't like it when he does this stupid hardcore shit. And the same thing can be said for Darby Allin, because let's face it, when Darby Allin's not wrestling a hardcore match, he's a fantastic wrestler. I do like watching him wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like seeing him being thrown through glass. It makes me cringe when I see that spot that he did with Sting in Sting's retirement match. I cringe every time I catch that spot somewhere. And again, it goes OMD, don't spoil it, because I had to turn off NXT.
Holy shit. Massive surprise.
Okay, good. Good.
Okay, I lost my train of thought because of OMD's reaction there, which we don't really see much of when we're doing the Raw Patrol, but that's another story. But no, it's that saying, and I'm going to say it again because it's the third, fourth time I've said it this episode. Work safer, not harder. Learn the power of no.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more with that. I guess that's really about it for this episode of Turnbuckle Talk, number 374, Too Far Gone. We do want to let everybody know, though, that if you enjoy this content, please give us a subscription over on YouTube, on Twitch as well. And we are starting to introduce a little bit of something different. You can always find us on the socials and send us a message, and maybe you too can become part of the Turnbuckle affiliation program. There will be more information about TAP coming out very, very soon to our socials. So make sure that you are checking those and following them with us. OMG, give the people your socials.
People, you can find me on Facebook, Daniel Harisic, HRYCYK. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM&D. On Twitch at OMD17. And on Discord at OMD6370. Visually, right here, you can find me every Monday night at 7 with the Raw Preview Review Show. followed at 8 o'clock by the Raw Patrol with Carl Carafel, with Chris Best, with Bubba Duke, with Chris Parrish. Tuesdays right here at 8:05 with Mr. Best and Mr. Carafel. On Thursdays on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. On Fridays on the SmackDown Security Detail with Chris Best.
Chat, I just said don't spoil NXT for me, and you went ahead and did it.
We're not putting it up. Everybody can go and find out for themselves.
Yeah.
Chris Best.
All right, boy. You can find me youtube.com at CBRS Entertainment, twitch.tv/CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBestFilms83, Facebook.com, Chris.best83, CBRS.entertainment is my TikTok account. You can look for me Friday night alongside OMD as we do the SmackDown Security Detail. Look for me Friday night prior to that as well as I do the WWE 2K24 My Rise Chris Damage story. Saturday nights, I will be doing Saturday Night Gaming, and of course, on Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Raw Patrol with Carl Carafel, with OMD, Bubba Duke, and Chris Parrish. Going to be a fantastic show this coming week with the matches that have already been announced. Just going to put that out there.
Oh, yes, for sure. You can find me on Linktree, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. That's linktr.ee/KARLKARUFEL. And if you feel so inclined, please go and check out our shop, carlcarafel.redbubble.com, with a number of Turnbuckle Studios merchandise available over there for you. For OMD, for Chris Best, and for myself, Carl Carafel, thank you for tuning into this episode. And remember, everyone, the world's a scary place. Take care of each other.